All right, welcome to the Sharp Mind Show. I'm Nate, the owner of InterSell, where 30,000 customers have chosen InterSell, and we hope you become the next one. So if you like cool, inspirational t-shirts that help change the world, be sure to check out InterSell.com. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it. If you got something out of this video, please share it with somebody. We don't run advertising outside of our own stuff on this channel because we want everything to be from us and not influenced by other companies and other people. So be sure to share the video so that it helps it grow. We really appreciate it. All right. So I got a great show for you today. It's called Breaking Out of Average Thinking, right? And so the core truth here is average thinking creates average results. If you think like everybody else, you'll live like everyone else. Your mindset sets the ceiling for your life, right? And so I'm the mindset, skill set, habits guy, right? So it all starts with your mindset, right? And so you change your mindset using affirmations, right? And so if you don't have affirmations, you can pick mine up for free in the description. And you read them morning, midday, and at night to help change your mindset. But what does the average thinking look like, right? It says playing it safe, avoiding risk, settling for good enough, following the crowd instead of leading, right? And so what does this actually mean? So what does playing it safe mean? So it means I'm going to get good grades in school. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a job at a big corporation, Fortune 500. I'm going to buy a house. Um, you know, playing it safe, right? I'm going to stay in the same place that I've always lived. There's a lot of things that say playing it safe. Even in, once you get big, even playing it safe is not reinvesting in the company, stuff like that, right? Basically, if you feel comfortable, then you're not pushing those limits, right? And so why do most people stay average? Why do most people stay average? They stay average mostly because of the fear of failure, right? And so what people, the mindset shift here is that you need to fail more often to find success, right? And so I talked about this in the last video where I try to get my shirts out in 24 hours, right? And so I want to know within 24 hours, is this t-shirt something people would like? Is it a banger, right? So before I spend $150,000 on 50,000 t-shirts, I want to know, is this t-shirt something somebody would want, right? It's faith, family, fitness, and finance, something that people would want, right? And so, I try to do that within 24 hours, okay? And so, but that's so I can fail faster and find what's actually a hit faster, right? So that's the mindset shift there, right? So if you fear failure, you need to fail faster, right? Number two is the fear of judgment. So, I had this coming out of med school, right? I'd known that we weren't going to continue with med school. They were basically out of money. Nobody was giving us any more financing to go to school, right? And so, of course, I feared being judged because I was the person that, hey, I'm going to med school. I'm the one that's going to be a doctor. Like, we're going to make all this money. And I'm walking to a beach shop because I'm broke, right? I'm broke and I need money and I can't eat. Like, that judgment basically kept me average, right? It kept me, continuing to try to go, even though there was no money there in the first place. Right? There was not enough money for me to go in the first place, right? It's that fear of being judged, right? By people that I haven't talked to now in 20 something years, right? But that's a mindset shift as well, right? So fear of being judged, like, it doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is what's in here, what's in your heart. It matters what you can live with looking in the mirror every day, right? So you look in the mirror every day and you see that, obviously, your goals are going to be different if you're not thinking like the average person, right? And so if you live that way and like, okay, I'm going to be well above average, so it's like a company when a company compares like, oh, what's the average rate of something in my area? What's the average stuff for, companies like mine everywhere? Well, if you're trying to be average, then you're going to compare yourself to that, right? And so you have to stop with the fear of judgment. And so that's a mindset shift, right? And so number 3 is a lack of belief in themselves. They've been told their whole life that they're a C student, right? That they can't do anything. They'll never amount to nothing. And for some reason, this person has control in their mind that that's the truth, right? And it's just not the truth, right? It's not true, that you're not good enough. Like, that's not true. What might be true is that you're not putting in enough effort to be good at something, right? And so, and the last one is you surround yourself with average thinkers, right? So you are the 5 people that you are around, right? And so average person's like, yeah, I'm good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Um, all I want to do is chill. I'm tired of having all this pressure on me. You know, I'm just going to go work, do my job, and come home and not worry about nothing else. Those are average thinkers, right? And so the environment that you put your mind in and reinforces your limits, right? So the key point here is you don't accidentally become successful. You decide to think differently long before you're actually successful. And they say this about, this is a quote, you're rich in your mind long before you ever become rich on paper, right? And because your mindset is different than the average person, right? And so the average loop is think small, take small actions, get small results, stay stuck. Your thinking drives your outcomes, right? So how do we expand our vision? What do we need to start doing? So start asking bigger questions. What's possible? Why not me? How far can I take this, right? Bigger thinking creates bigger action, right? And so, don't be stuck in the comfort zone trap. Raise your standards, right? Number 1, expect more from yourself, right? And so I'll give you an example of this in the weight room, right? And so when you re-rack your weights, right? Most people just throw it back up there, right? Or when they put the weight on the rack, right? When they do that, they just put it up there any which way. But what if you actually put it upright every time so you could read hammer strength, so you could read the numbers 45s, right? And when you put it back the same way where everything's lined up. If you got ones with the grips, then the grips are all lined up. And the reason you do it this way is because you expect more from yourself, right? You demand a better effort and you refuse to settle for average, right? So the average person throws it back up there, doesn't worry about it. But someone that's exceptional and someone that does everything exceptionally does it a better way, right? And it's not necessarily that it improves anything but in your mind, I did this better, right? Because I expect better for myself. I expect more for myself, right? All right. Number 2 is how do you break out from average? You surround yourself with higher level thinkers, right? And so, my number 1 thing, like, so me and my wife talk to each other 24/7, 365. Like, we are higher level thinkers, right? And so, luckily for me, I'm blessed with a wife that is a higher level thinker, right? And so, not only can I ask her higher level questions, right, but I can get a higher level examination of the question, like a 360-degree examination, right? And so, most of my conversations with her is just asking her a question about whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm thinking about, and her giving the whole 360, how far could we take it? What could we do with it? That kind of thing, right? And so surround yourself with a high level thinker, right? And so I'm blessed that mine is my wife. And hopefully I can find more high level thinkers out there to become friends with. But The second thing is how to break out from the second one of how to break out from being average is consume better information. And so that's what this podcast is about, right? The Sharp Mind Show is consuming better information. It's consuming something that's going to make it where you become better, right? And so they say if you're a C person, you've always been a C person your whole life, you have to consume better information, and you have to consume it for a longer period of time so that you can take bigger action with confidence, right? Confidence is everything, right? And the last one, so you did take bigger action. The last one is challenge your current belief system, right? And so why am I stuck in this job, right? Why do I have to be here, right? What's causing me to have to be here, right? So it's that identity shift from I hope I can do it to I'm capable of doing it for sure. Like, let's say, and I talked about this yesterday on my shorts and reels. But a lot of people are like, am I, their bills are not getting paid, right? They're not making enough money. Well, so you have to ask yourself the question, am I capable of going up more on this ladder, right? Is the ladder as high as I'm getting on this ladder? There's, for instance, there's somebody that's 51 years old in front of you. They got 14 years before they're going to move on. Are you going to have to go laterally somewhere else, or you're going to have to move up somewhere else to go up in your career? Or if you're at the top, like you're superintendent or whatever, you're at the top. Do you have to do something like you're the highest you're going to be able to go in your career? Are you going to have to learn a different skill set on the side to make your income go up, right? So the hope I can make more money, I'm capable of making more money either way, whether I stay in the same spot and do something on the side or whether I go higher in some other place, right? And so how does this apply to me, right? For content, thinking bigger on my content with better messaging, right? Intercell, bigger vision, bigger brand. Like, there's things that keep you small in a business, right? And so, for one, like if you're not running ads, right, would be one of those things that, so you say, oh, well, I don't have the money, I'm not running ads. Well, you have to run ads to be known now, right? You go viral or you run ads, right? And most companies are going to have to run ads. So you need to figure out what ad you're going to run that best represents your brand and your person. And so then gets people to not only become followers, but to become customers, right? And so that's what I try to do with Intercell. And in life, you're going to have higher standards, right? In your business, you're going to have higher standards. You have better outcomes, right? And so many people, so say you have an employee in your business and they do everything sloppy, but they're the best salesperson you got, or they're the best marketer you got, you're going to have to get rid of that person or have them change their mindset or talk to them and have them change what your expectations are. Because if you don't, those higher standards won't come back through the company and you won't be able to build that bigger brand that you have, right? But the biggest mistake most people make is settling too early, right? And so you finally get to where you have breathing room, right? And so I feel like that's what's happening to a lot of people right now. They had breathing room for a while, right? Where they had 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 extra every year, and they spent it on vacations, and they settled too early with the career they had, right? And so they compared themselves to everybody else, like, oh, we're doing good, we're doing average, better than average, but that makes you settle, right? It makes you stay where you're at, right? And the last one is avoiding discomfort, right? So your mindset will limit everything you do. So you got to think about that. If you think bigger, you can separate yourself fast, right? So stop settling. So the challenge I have for you today is identify one area where you're thinking small. Identify one area where you're thinking small. Raise that standard immediately. Take action that reflects it, right? And so that could be in your job. Like I say, it could be in the weight room where you rack your weights to an OCD level where you line up every weight so that it can be read, stuff like that, right? Your every action, if you have to do everything with excellence, right? And if you can't do everything with excellence, you don't do anything with excellence. And so you raise that standard to yourself. So find that one spot that you're thinking small and change it, right? And so I'll leave you with rapid fire hooks. I do rapid fire hooks to reiterate the message of the video. Hopefully you like them. If you like them, let me know in the comments below. Here we go. Think average, live average. Break it. Comfort keeps you average. Step out of your comfort. You don't need permission to think bigger. Take it. Small thinking, small results, expand it. Why not you? Why not more? Go get it. All right. And so I'll leave you with the closing line. Average thinking creates average lives. If you want more, you have to start thinking, acting, and operating at a higher level. Average thinking creates average lives. If you want more, you have to start thinking, acting, and operating at a higher level. I'm Nate. I'm the owner of InterSell. With 30,000 customers have chosen InterSell, and we hope you become the next one. So if you like cool inspirational t-shirts like this one, faith, family, fitness, and finance, be sure to check out InterSell.com. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it if you got something out of it. I would really appreciate it. Check out my wife's book, Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins, available on Amazon. Written by best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson. So you got nieces, nephews, or children of your own. Be sure to check out InterSell, or not InterSell. Be sure to check out Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.